All right, welcome to A One Card Shy. We're back for this
Hello.
episode. Hello.
Hello.
Um, what's up with you? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Well, I don't even know. It's just been literally storming here every day for what feels like the last 2 weeks in the afternoon. Big storms, like big downpours moving through. And so I just feel like I've kind of been an indoor cat in the middle of
Ah,
summer,
the
which
best.
Laura loves, I kind of hate. Yeah, so it's been weird. And it just feels like, and it's probably partly eclipse season, partly the change of the nodes, but it just feels like everything is shifting around again.
Again.
Like, yeah, literally, it felt like I was like, oh, yeah, like here's the rhythm, here's the schedule, like, here's the process, here's how the summer's going to feel. And then all of a sudden it feels like it went, nope, not going to feel that way. It's going to feel this way. But like this way hasn't even settled yet. So
Well,
I
that
don't
makes
know.
sense. I mean, the nodes are moving into your sign and opposite sign, Aquarius
Yeah.
and Leo. So
Yay.
clickety clack, I guess.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm supposed to be like stepping into who I really want to be, which I thought I was already there, but I don't know, maybe not.
Well,
Mm.
I mean, that's dumb. I also feel like it's the age, right? Like, how old are you when this is happening?
Old.
Well, I definitely just feel like you've gone through like when you're 52. Are you 52?
No, I'm 53.
You're 53.
Blech.
So when you're that age, you've already gone through like your Uranus, I think it's your Uranus square and like a Saturn, this and that. And there's all this stuff
Saturn
going on in
return,
astrology. Oh,
yeah.
Chiron return. Yeah.
Hmm.
So you
All the
passed through all
stuff.
that. So you should feel like yourself already. So like then that
Yeah.
generic reading maybe doesn't make sense. Um, and the full on weeds and the perimenopause, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just like right now in the summer, it's not quite looking like I thought it would at the beginning of the summer,
Well,
which is weird that we're already to the
I'm
end, but
gonna
we're
be
not really
honest.
at the end. I don't know.
Asheville doesn't have any real seasons
No, they don't. They kind of all like merge in and out of each
and
other. Like
overlap, and
a few weeks ago, it felt like fall here. We're like, what happened?
yeah.
Is summer over? And then it got really hot again. And so, but overall, things are lovely.
At least you
How
have
about
rain.
you?
I mean, most of the
Yeah,
world's on fire, so at least it's moist where you
that's
are.
true. We are not on fire here. Knock
No.
on wood.
I'm good. I was working on our Claim Your Crown course, and I was thinking about it's like the other day I was like, I had a question for this podcast for us, and I was like, what the fuck is it? And then I forgot all about it, and then I opened and I had somehow put it in our notes, or I
Oh,
put it below the
yay.
video, so like where the link is when we open our little Zoomies. Um, so my question, it's like, I mean, obviously this is a question to go into the higher self bubble, so we can get a little bit deeper wisdom, but we can also talk about like how we experience it. But let's get the wisdom first.
Okay.
But it's kind of like the difference between the body's wisdom and the higher self wisdom, which first, okay, micro nuanced question, which is the body's wisdom. To me, that's like similar to intuition. Like when people say intuition, I feel intuition as like this human in the moment reaction or in the moment instinct,
Mm-hmm.
and the body's intuition is part of that. Then
Mm-hmm.
separately, the higher self stuff. What do
Mm-hmm.
you think, or what is coming through, I guess, and through the bubble?
What they were saying through the bubble was that the body is the lived experience. So not the same as the mind is like the mind just runs the program based on what it knows. The the body is reacting, the body wisdom is coming from the space of interacting in the world
Mm-hmm.
and feeling the actual energies. So it is intuition on some level, But it can also be like feeling the energies of walking into a room where everybody's stressed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily yours, but the body walks in the energy and feels it.
Like it's a sensor or
Mm-hmm.
receiver of some kind.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good word. Receiver. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how do you think, like, how does that work then when we do that kind of like project into the possible choices that you have and you can feel it ahead of time with your body? So like I went and got my blood drawn this morning and I've had traumatic experiences in the past with that and I didn't go for a long time because of that. And then I got this lady and she was amazing and I'm like, "Oh, I think I'm kind of over my like phobia of that." But when I was feeling into which day to go, I very much felt like I wanted to go Thursday, but I felt like I needed to go Friday because I felt like the experience would be better on Friday, which I did. This lady was a different lady because I had to go to a different place. She was fucking awesome. And yesterday, her colleague had died that she worked with in this little clinic.
Oh, God.
So she was kind of stressed because she was having a busy morning, but she takes her job very seriously and she loves it because she's really good at it. But like I could feel in my body kind of sense like that everything was going to be okay. So like how does that work? Something that's
Mm-hmm.
not present time, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know how this is going to play out based on what they are showing me because it also doesn't quite make sense. But at the same time as what I just said is real, like the body receives the energy, like it processes it in real time. What they're also saying is that like when we're projecting forward or feeling into trying to make a decision, the body is not strapped to this place and this time. So even though it is physical, the receivers are quantum.
I knew this was going to have something to fucking do with quantum physics.
So we can, it's almost like we can extrapolate, the body can extrapolate out. Oh, stop the press. That is what's happening. Like the mind is such a powerful processor. It's like the mind constructs the space energetically that the body is now going to reside within to process the future question.
Right.
Like,
It sets up the visualization or the possibility. The mind does it.
Yes.
And then the body is the sensory, like, I was trying so hard to, and luckily I didn't record the episode I was going to record because I got really tired and I was like, I can't do it. Or the episode, but like the part of the course I was going to record. Because I kept like asking the AI to search on the internet for it, for what I was trying to articulate. And I was like, it was useless figuring this, like, I mean, useless. So like, this is what I was trying to get to is like, how does this work together? Because I think it's, I mean, obviously no one's studying it. So, and like the scientists that would study it don't believe in it. So how would they even study
and
it?
how would you even do it?
How would you even do it?
So they're continuing to like drop little pieces in. They're like, this is why meditation is important. This is why centering is important. This is why like honing the ability to open the space and like leave the space empty is so important.
Right.
Because they're like, the mind creates, it's like watching a movie. The mind creates the movie that then the body gets to experience this sort of imaginary world through and gives us feedback. Right? Well, that happens when we watch a movie. We get scared. We're not in the fucking movie, but we're like watching the movie terrified.
Just thinking about the exact thing.
Twins. So it's no different than that. So they're like, if you as a human are not in control of the mind or able to like pause the mind, then the mind just keeps the script going. Totally. And the body feeds off of that. But if you can say, okay, I want to consider what it would be like if I take job number one. And job number one is at this company, it's in this city, it's this size, like matter even like here's a look of the building, you know, like if you want to see what the building looks like.
And all the like other stuff, which is like, what is the job? How much does it pay?
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
right. So you give it all the details and then stop. Now go experience a day in the life there. But if the mind keeps going, like the boss is a dick and like your coworkers are crabby, like then it constructs, like it further narrates the movie, it writes it, and then the body starts reacting from that script. So this is why like the meditation is important and clearing the palate is important and learning to just like stop and observe is so important, because then that is the space that allows the body to move into the quantum receptor where it's sensing the energy based on what it might actually feel like rather than what the mind's telling it is going to feel like.
Okay.
Now I sound a little crazy, but yeah.
No, but like this is what I was trying to get to. And I thought I'm insane, but no one's talking about this, except I did find a blog post from Martha Beck, who's the fucking best. If you've ever read any of her books, Finding Your North Star, I think is one of them. She used to be Oprah's life coach. She's hilarious. Her books are really funny. But she was talking about calling it the body compass. And she didn't really get into this level of detail about it, but she just talks about how she uses it. But right. I just kept thinking like, but why does it work? It works so well. When you learn how to do this, and this is what we are training in our Claim Your Crown course when we get finished with it, we're training you how we do it. And that's kind of what we talk about in the podcast. But nothing has ever helped me more than this. And when I was thinking about quitting my job because I was fucking miserable, I remember, and I don't think I learned it from a book because I just was kind of doing it the way I thought I should do it, like the way I wanted to do it. It was almost just like an instinct in me that chose to do it. And I was like, okay, well, I could stay at this job. So I imagined myself staying at this job, and I was like, yuck, ugh, gross. Feeling in my body like yucky. We used to have that one guy that was kind of our teacher who'd be like, how does your tummy feel?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
how's your tum-tum feel?
How's your tum-tum feel? And then I thought about, well, maybe it's the school and I just need a same job, different school. And so I'd think about that, and I still felt tum-tum yucky. And then I thought about quitting, and I was like, I don't even know what is on the other side of that, but hell yes. Like you could feel the like relief. Yeah. So I guess my question is like, how does this, like, in my mind, I have an answer to this question, but I want to ask the higher selves, like, well, let me tell you my answer and see what they say. Okay. My question is this, I would believe that this feeling is because it's your body is pointing you to an alignment with your own blueprint or soul pathway or something like that. Question. It's not really a question.
Yes, like, they're just like, you're like close. You're so close. It's what they're taking issue with is you saying the body's pointing you in the direction. So like that's what the mind is deducing from it. But what the body is feeling is the alignment with your soul or your blueprint. Like it's not too far off from what you said. They just don't like the word pointing you. The body's just like, it is the receiver. So it's receiving.
Well, pointing is a yang concept, and the body receiving is a yin concept.
Yeah. So it's like the body is feeling the like, like we can relax. Like it's a feeling of making it, even though you don't even know what you've made it to. But it's like, yes, this feels good. I feel at ease. I feel comfortable. I feel calm. Whereas these other situations, when we look at them, because it's not in alignment on some level that we might not even consciously be aware of, the body registers the tension and the misalignment and the stress and the resistance. So that's like, it's like an instrument.
Yeah.
The body doesn't necessarily, it doesn't have a preference. The body's just an instrument that's giving us the readout.
The readout based on our soul's
preference.
desire to do whatever's next, to have
To
the
get
next
us
experience.
moving in the direction to either get us back on track or to keep us in track, or like to get us in position for that next thing to happen.
Right. So that soul map or blueprint, which we've talked about before, based on, or the cardology can tell you about it, and astrology can tell you about it, and human design can tell you about it. Gives you clues to what's like what your blueprint is. So then I had this question for the AI, which it also could not find an answer to, which is like, well, basically when I asked it, it pointed me to medical astrology, and I was like, that's not what I'm fucking asking. It's like, I was like, what? I was like, does the body, because okay, in the natal chart for your astrology is like the moment you were born is your natal chart. It's the like, you're like, you need to know the time you were born or you can't do your natal chart. And I'm like, that blueprint is almost like, to me, is it imprinted into the body at that moment? Like, is the blueprint imprinted into the body?
I'm saying yes and no.
Okay.
So, they're being so like literal today. They're like, it's not imprinted as in it is a part of you, like your DNA is a part of you, or a cell is a part of you. It is imprinted in that certain energies that you experience will feel a certain way, and you will experience the world through a certain set of almost like filters, activation points. They're like, think of it as like a lens, kind of like a camera. So depending on what lens you have on the camera, it impacts, like how far you can see or how sharply you can see, the level of contrast, the light exposure. And that's kind of like that's similar to what that natal chart imprint would be. It like gives you a certain lens. And so you observe and interact with the world through that lens blindly until you decipher the lens. Then you're able to further quantify the experience by being like, oh, in certain situations, I react this way because blah, 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 blah. And then it becomes a choice. It can become more of a choice point of, okay, like I want to overcome this challenge, or I want to, progress past this, or I don't want this to be a limitation. I want this to be an asset. And then that's where it's like information that then now is available to the mind to start processing differently. Does that make any sense?
Making it conscious. Yeah, that does make sense. I'm back though, circling back to the body's role in all of this. Because to me, like that's what they just described to me is almost like an energetic or a mental, like it's the way you process the world mentally or emotionally. So then when the body is an antenna, kind of, or they didn't say antenna.
Receiver. Yeah.
Receiver. Like,
yeah, that's basically what an antenna is.
Yeah, like it's kind of pointing you to the right direction. Like, we're totally in the weeds, but I love this. Why? Like, okay, what is my question? The body is receiving this. How is the body? Is the body like a translator of this information? Like, why is the body so important? I guess that's my question. I mean, on the one hand, you wouldn't be here if you didn't have a body. I get it. But
right,
like,
you wouldn't be feeling.
How does, like, I'm back to, so you have this blueprint, you have this, like, I don't want to say the right way to live your life, because that's not really it, but you have this, like, the blueprint helps focus you, from like being, when we were kids, like you could be anything. It's like, I don't know if you looked at your natal chart, if you could be anything. I think no on that, you guys. So like clearly it goes from you can do and be anything to like, oh no, this is your specialty. This is what you're really good at. This is what you're here to
Mm-hmm.
learn. This is what you're here to overcome. Your soul wanted these experiences. So you have this natal chart. And that's how you
Mm-hmm.
figure out what those things are, the key to your blueprint and your cards, your cardology. Okay, so you have this blueprint. Your
Mm-hmm.
body is here. It was
Mm-hmm.
born. You have this blueprint as this body. And the body is some kind of receiver, kind of, I feel like it's like that boop, 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 boop,
I know that's what I'm
boop,
seeing
boop,
too,
boop,
like the
boop,
old
boop.
time like antenna receivers,
Yeah, like
right?
pointing out, getting onto
Scanning.
the right. They're like, oh, there I am. I'm locked onto the right path.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm answering my own question, which is, how else would you know you're on the right path if you didn't feel it in your body?
Right. Right. What the one thing that they were clarifying while you were talking is the soul chose the birthday, which we know from cardology, but like they're like that needs to factor into the conversation. The soul chose it. Now the body is part of the vehicle that is having the experience. Like the mind's having the experience, the body's having the experience, but like the soul made the choice. So you're right. Like the body's just being like, okay, like this is the energetic imprint that resonates for me, like where that feeds the experience, that directs the experience. It's like a map. So the body's going to feel aligned. Oh my God, this is interesting. The body's going to feel aligned in situations that are in alignment with that blueprint. So Laura having a blueprint different than my blueprint means that we could be in the exact same experience, like situation, having a completely different experience.
Mm-hmm.
Her body may be saying, this is a fuck yes, and my body may be saying, this is a fuck no. Even though we seemingly to the external world would be having the exact same experience. In the body, inside, we could be having two completely different experiences.
Okay. This conversation may go on for 6 hours. Now. Okay, I know, like, I don't know what I'm trying to get at, but I feel like when I get there, I'll be like, oh my God, I got it. Okay. I guess my question now is like, you have your mind that can make all these decisions. What is the downside of that? Like, how does your mind not know what this blueprint is? Why is it that your body and the sensations in your body, why is that important?
Ooh, that's a good question. What I'm hearing is because the mind doesn't feel. The body feels. If we strictly made to sit like, this is a good question. Like,
Because everyone's making decisions based on their mind and their emotions.
they're like, no, everyone thinks they're making decisions on their mind.
Oh, okay.
They think they're making decisions on their mind because, first of all, they think they are the mind.
Right.
You and the
But they have
mind are
no other
not the
option.
same, right?
Right.
The mind is also decoding and labeling and overlaying the stories based on what the body is feeling. So it's like the mind is the computer that we run everything through to like try to get it to make sense. But the mind on its own, kind of like the mind on its own, just
It runs on its old patterns.
yeah, it's they're like this is gonna seem so wrong and counterintuitive, but the mind on its own is not gonna take you forward. On its own, it's not gonna take you forward. It's gonna take you down the path that feels the most comfortable, that's the most understood, that's the most practiced. But the mind doesn't feel like the expansive, like this is the direction. Like that is a that's that's a felt experience. That's an expansive experience.
People are running this decision making through their bodies. They're just not really aware of it.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah. It's almost like on some level, the whole discussion to try to parse it apart is irrelevant because
Uh-huh.
like we it's all so ingrained. It all works so well together that it's almost impossible to tweeze it apart, because also tweezing it apart, no part works on its own.
Right.
It's like if you take the lens off the camera and you just have the body of the camera, then there's no lens on it.
Right.
Like,
It's pointless.
it's not really a camera.
Well, and then I'm kind of thinking of like, you know how the Gen Z kids are like, the vibe is off and they just won't go do something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, it's kind of like, it's like, that's it.
That is it. Yes. They're like, that's it. The body is telling them the vibe is off. So the mind, because the body is sensing it, the mind says no. On its own, who the fuck knows what the mind would say? The mind might be like, yeah, let's do it.
Well,
let's walk through that door.
And that's
because
kind
we
of what
always
talk
walk
about
through doors.
That's what we talk about in the course. It's like you like look at something, like somebody offers you, or like, hey, do you want to join this committee? And you're like, well, that would be great on my resume, and I would meet people, and like it would be good networking, and it's all these things that check all these boxes. But if you really, this is just a specific example, but like if you stopped and you checked in with your body might be like, please stop. I do not want to do that.
Yeah.
Like it would have another layer of wisdom that you're just overriding for practical purposes, this is what the course is training too. Is like, and it's back to what you said at the beginning of the podcast episode, which is that's why like breath work, meditation and stuff like that's so important, is you got to have that pause.
Mm-hmm.
Like and that's what I feel like I've been working on more recently. And because we've been practicing this for so long, it's a lot faster. Like that whole thing with the blood draw, I didn't even really stop. I just was like, oh no, I can feel Fridays better than Thursday. I can feel the alignment with the woman's energy or something. I knew it was a woman that was going to be there. And I just knew it was going to go well and go smoothly and not be a problem.
Yeah.
If I went on Friday. But it was so fast, like it just kind of came up because I kind of stopped. Like I could feel my human mind being like, I want to go Thursday. I want to get this over with. I hate getting my blood drawn. I have to fast, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, pause. Nope, it's Friday.
Yeah. Right.
So like, it's just, and that's what we're training in the course. Like you just have to take a beat.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't,
yeah.
The meditation practice, the breathwork practice trains you to like pause and to feel that calm state, because you don't want to be spun up trying to do this, which is what we talk about ad nauseum in the course. But it's like, you got to train to the calm, and then you have to have this pause and just pause and sense it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, like you said, it's so hard to parse apart, because sometimes I'm not necessarily, I wasn't really feeling that. Like there's sometimes where I'm like not necessarily feeling my body. I just have a sense. And I love the word sense for this, because senses, right? We have 5 senses, and we have more than 5 senses. But like, you can sense it, and we don't have to be specific about which one, because it doesn't fucking matter.
Right. No, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. Like there's the clairs, which we talk about in whisper training. Like it's a clear knowing, you just know, or you feel it in your body. Like there's different ones, and why worry too much about which one it was at that moment? You kind of want them all just working together, like you said, like almost like seamlessly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally.
This has been amazing. I love it.
Good questions. Holy cow. I love it when Laura comes to the table with questions. They're always so good.
I get in the weeds. I'm like, Claude, what the fuck?
This right here, what you witnessed, is the benefit of one of the people on a podcast being a club.
Being like obsessive. I'd be like, that stuff doesn't make a fucking sense. Like, but it did find me that Martha Beck article. I was like, damn, here it is. The body compass, she calls it. That's exactly what.
Yeah, that is it.
You know, also what I'm thinking about now is like when you get into that habit of checking in with your body, it automatically makes you move out of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because you pause long enough to be like, oh, now how does this feel in my body?
Yeah.
I'm not constantly making decisions only on what my body feels like. But the training of that has made me insert the pause more regularly into my life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Same.
I told you, I read this book by this woman. She's like, I spent 2 years doing only what my body wanted to do. I forget what else she said, but I was like, okay, because she was taking it from the Dantian's level of experience, or which is from Chinese medicine, and it's like their version of chakras, which are just 3 energy centers instead of 7, so way less complicated. Body, that's the lower one, heart, middle one, and mind, that's the upper one. And this idea that you could like you could kind of like focus on one to make the decision. It's like you focus on what your heart wants
Yeah,
versus what your mind
right.
wants versus what your body wants,
Right.
which is a lot actually, but I think you're like I think it's more important to notice when your mind is just running on its autopilot
Yeah, I would
and
agree.
rein it back in, because that's, the neuroscientists will even say that it's like your mind is trying to solve problems. So like it's going to go back to the files it has before from the
Mhm.
problems you've had in the past and reach back and grab one of those to help you. When the body, like you said, because it's in quantum physics land, which means there's no such thing as time. Time is a flat circle, blah, blah, blah. Stuff we can't even wrap our fucking minds around. The body can just go out and pull the data from any time and space in.
Mhm.
It sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. Somebody tell us whether we're right or wrong. I don't know.
I don't
Is there a
know.
neuroscientist out there listening? Quantum
They're not
physicist?
fucking looking at this. The quantum physicists, maybe. But also, okay, we started this whole conversation. So let's just wrap it up with the first question I had, I think, which was we have this like intuition in the moment that's kind of just giving us a direction to go. Do that, don't do that. Like that one, not that one. Then we have what we do in the bubble, which is talk to the higher selves, which is like a whole, like training yourself to have like almost a whole conversation. But I really like doing questions with Candy because it's easier. She doesn't know what I'm going to ask, so she doesn't have any preconceived notions. But I will say when I talk to my higher selves, they're not very chatty.
Yeah, no, same.
They'll be like, get on Bumble. I'm like, hello? And it's not even like a word. I'm like, I feel like you're telling me to get on. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
just like this direction. But when we talk, I think because I'm asking you questions, like you're having to translate into like human language. That's why they're chatty.
And because I'm using my human mouth to convey. And I think that they're chatty because I'm not always getting it right with the words.
Well, plus,
it's like,
remember like the package? Remember when we first started doing this and like Candy went into the bubble the first time? We were not even calling it the bubble back then. And she like couldn't talk forever. Like you were just sitting there. What was that experience like?
It just felt like there was so much information available at one time. And it almost felt like it wasn't even given to me in a language that I could speak, that I couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And I remember like it felt like I was collared, like literally like I had a collar on.
That was a past life thing, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Like there was getting your head chopped off when you were a witch.
There was just all this pressure, and I was like, how do I get this out? Like in a hose, like the pressure on the hose builds up, and the pressure from the water builds up, and you're like, I got to get this out, but I don't know how to get it out. Like it was just too much at once for my brain to parse through. And I think I just kind of had to like calm myself down and almost make the request like, just give it to me slow. Like just walk me through it. Just like, just push the words out. Like I don't have to understand what I'm saying. I just need to hear it. Like it just needs to come out.
Right. Like if you're trying to manage what it says.
Yeah. Like my brain's trying to understand it. They're like, right. No, just say it.
What I notice when we do readings on each other, we're just like casually on a Thursday, as AI would say. Just not Tuesday. Like,
Tuesday, am I right?
Tuesday, am I right? We're chatting on the phone and you're asking me a question. I'm like in the bubble. And I sometimes I'm like, I feel like it's 8 minutes where I'm pausing. You probably feel like it's less than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed before on the podcast when I was like, God, I feel like I sat there for so long thinking about that. And then when I re-listened to it, I was like, oh, that was like nothing. So it's just like the perception on my end. But anyway, so I pause and I'm like, I realize like I actually have to start talking for it to continue.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes I do that with myself. Like if I'm trying to get more information, like I'll either sit and do automatic writing, like I'll ask the
Mm-hmm.
question and write what they say, or I'll was like, you know what, Laura, just do it like if Candy asked you the question, like do it that way and just start talking out loud,
Mm-hmm.
and that way the concept can continue. But it also kind of sometimes just comes in I don't know how else to describe this other than a quantum package where you just
Mm-hmm.
have to like they give it to you all at once, the concept. And
Yeah.
so if you're not having to explain it out loud to anyone, then you don't have to. It's like watching a TV show. Imagine like pausing on one scene and being like, well, Keely had on red high heeled
Sparkly
shoes
shoes.
and her braids were down. And then she had on this like gingham dress and it was
It
supposed to
was
be like the
blue and
Wizard of
white.
Oz. And it was blue and
Right.
white. But if you just show the picture, you're like,
Boom.
look at
Yeah,
this.
it's the exact same thing. I have found that for me, when I'm just doing it for myself, they're like super short in the response. And I don't get sometimes more information until I go and do something else. It's like I almost have to distract myself. Like for me, it always happens in the shower. Like, literally, I can go take a shower, and then all of a sudden, it's just like a flood of information will come in. So sometimes in the moment, I might get a yes or no, or a move on, or it doesn't matter, or like they'll just drop me. They'll be like September. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what does that mean? What is happening in September? Like, does that mean I'm supposed to wait until September? Does that mean it's going to happen in September? Does that mean I'm supposed to do it, or I'm only going to do it until September? What does September mean? And they just like go silent on me, and then I go take a shower, hours later or whatever, and then like the whole thing just
oh, dude,
rolls out.
why? I want to ask them why. Will you ask me to ask them why?
Yes, 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 yes. All right. I want Laura to tell me why can I not get the full download sometimes in the moment? Why does it come to me in the shower later?
Um, well, they want to preface this by saying this actually is going to probably be true for a lot of people that start doing this with us and learning all about this, but it's those dickheads. They're like, you could also be taking a dump, but you probably have your phone, which will give you hemorrhoids, so don't do
No,
it.
I don't have my phone.
But like, they're like, it's a guaranteed moment that you're not going to be interrupted.
Oh, this is true. Yeah.
So it's
Right.
not so much that they care about you being interrupted, it's that you care about you being interrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Your phone is not with you. You're in the shower.
Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to bother me.
No
Nobody's
one's
going
gonna
to
come
say
in to try
something
to
through the
talk to
door.
you.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so you're not, so it's like, it's a moment and they know how long you take a shower. Like they know what the situation is. So they know that that's the place where they can capture your attention. So even if you're asking and like you're in your apartment or you're on a walk, someone might walk up to you. It's like, they're like, they just
Right.
feel like it's pointless. And that's why they really love, for everyone that's listening, as the shower to be the place. So in the shower, so we were talking before about this is why meditating is important. This is why breath work is important. But in our CYC, our Claim Your Crown course, we're specifically like, we're not telling you that you have to meditate all the time.
Mm-mm.
Because Candy and I live in the real world.
Right.
And
Ain't
we know
nobody
that's
got time
ridiculous.
for that
Nobody has
every
time for
day.
that.
Jesus.
But what you have to do is take a shower.
This is true. You do
Hopefully.
need to shower.
You do need to shower. So now make the shower the place where you just like, and don't over pressure yourself. Just stop letting your mind churn on about something pointless.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Well, yes, and I feel like too we have asked around this question before because I remember them saying like also in the shower the mind is distracted by doing the work that it's there to do.
The soapy stuff and stuff.
Yeah, it's like okay, now I'm going to wash my arms, I'm going to wash my legs, I'm going to shave my legs, I'm going to wash my hair. Like it's got its own routine that it goes through, so it's tasked already. So it is like a meditation because that's what a meditation does. You're tasking the mind either to follow the guided meditation or to focus on the breath. Like you're giving it just enough that it can get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, and I'm wondering when it transitioned for you from them waking you up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. to shower time.
I don't know. Maybe when I finally got pissy about it, I was like, time matters to me. Sleep is important.
Leave me the fuck alone.
I don't know. When they were waking me up though, they were giving like really specific information, and it was always followed with a get up and write this down.
Right.
So
And
they
you
like
can't do that in
wanted
the
me
shower.
taking notes, and I couldn't take that. Yeah, I couldn't do that in the shower. So I think maybe a lot of the important things got out and written down. So I don't have to be woken up in the middle of the night anymore. But I'm sure if they decide otherwise.
Well, I'm also feeling like it keeps integrating and integrating and integrating.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes more seamless in your day-to-day life. So they're not having to be so disruptive.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I know to pay attention.
Hmm.
Whereas before, I remember before I was always like, oh yeah, give it to me now, I'll remember. And they're like, bitch, you're not going to remember. Get up.
Get
Get up and
like,
get a
I remember you'd be
notepad.
like, and I didn't get up and now I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, seemed really important at the time. I thought I would never forget it. I have no idea what they said. It's like they taught me a lesson. They're like, okay, you think you can remember? All right. Good luck.
Then, okay, now I know this is like the longest episode, but I think this is my last question. So now we talked about the soul's choice and like day that it wanted to be born and the blueprint and all of that, and the body receiving the right direction. And then the higher selves, like, what is their role in all of this?
Oh, okay. Yeah. What is the higher self's role? Remember when they always used to show us like somebody with the clipboard, like taking the notes and observing? Like
It's like that meme where the lady's like falling down the ski slope. And they're like, good job,
yes.
Sophie, you got it. You're doing great. She's
Way
just
to
tumbling.
go. You're out there. Yes, that is the higher self. They're just like observing. Yeah, they're just observing. And they only get involved if they're like directly asked to get involved or to like share some feedback or advice. This is what it feels like. It almost feels like we can't hear the request of the soul for whatever reason.
Right.
So the higher self serves as that translator. Like when the human's like, oh my God, like I'm so off track right now. Like, what should I do? The higher self is like, oh, so glad you finally asked. Like the soul wants me to communicate blah, 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 blah to you. But otherwise, like the higher self is just there like, all right, keep going.
Right. So there's some level of request you had or something like either something you requested or something the soul requested that would cause them to wake you up in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I specifically remember in 2014 and then in 2018 making the request out loud. I wish someone would tell me what I'm supposed to do. They're like, okay. She wants us to tell her what to do. Note take. We'll show up.
Yeah.
I'd much rather have my higher selves tell me what to do than not my higher selves.
Than not my higher selves.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay. I think I've asked enough questions. This is a long enough episode.
Good job.
We can sign off.
Yes.
Toodles.
Adios.